I honestly did not expect to drop this video, but it's time for some hard truths about this device. Let's talk about the Galaxy Z Flip 3 and why I decided to return it. Honestly, I thought the Z Flip 3 was the one for me. This small minimalist design not only fits in the pockets well or in the dash of a car connected to Android Auto, but I felt like it was going to fit well into my overall lifestyle in general. The display is solid overall. Even with that crease there in the middle, it never bothered me throughout my usage, and I really enjoyed gaming or watching content on the Z Flip 3 display. It also has a significantly brighter display than the previous generation Flip, and in daylight it's super crisp outdoors with no issues. Now the camera there at the top, that's been pretty good for selfies, but I want to talk about the dual speakers as well. Talking about watching and consuming content, I have to note that the speakers on the Z Flip 3 have been incredible, especially compared to the previous generation Flips. Having that speaker there at the bottom and then at the top, that dual speaker experience has been really excellent for consuming content and media on the Z Flip 3. No issues there in terms of actually consuming content, gaming, etc. Now let's power this on and talk a little bit more about the Z Flip 3 and why I decided to return it. So while Samsung went with a larger front display here, I do have to say it's still really not that usable when it comes to notification management. You can see time, you can see these fun little animations here, and you can kind of scroll through and you have a few widget options, but it's really not that useful, especially paired with the Watch 4 Classic. I could do everything on there, so why do that all on this small, weird display? Razer, on the Motorola on the Razer, I think did it really well. I think if this device was, a little bit larger as far as that front display and that build, I think you'd get a better experience being able to quickly respond to notifications like you can on the Motorola Razer. The build though of this device, it is really solid. It looks really good. I have no issues again with the display or with the actual build of the device. I think it's sturdy. I think it's significantly more durable than the last Flip, but as far as having that option to use the outer side of the display, it's been pretty frustrating overall, to be honest. Constantly having to flip open the device just to use it, which I get. That's kind of what you get when you buy the Flip. I thought, maybe I would enjoy it a little bit more, but it became more of a hindrance throughout my day. Unlocking the phone is pretty smooth. The fingerprint scanner there is really quick, as you can see. So when you're opening the device, it's certainly not slow, but it does take a lot of power to do that. And we'll talk about the battery in a little bit more detail here. But you can see the hinge design, they did make this more durable. You have that IP rating now, so water's not getting in there. As you can see from my water test, it survived the water no problem. And I like the overall build. I think maybe if it was a little thicker, yeah, it would add some weight to it, but it'd probably help with the battery. And then also, I think with the actual notifications and everything with that front display, I think you'd get a better experience if it was just a little bit larger, so that way you could respond to notifications easier like you can on the Motorola Razr, for example. Using the leather case from Samsung on this device, it's been really nice. I do recommend that leather case if you pick one of these up for yourself. Scrolling around here, you can see performance is very fast, smooth, and fluid. Definitely no issues with performance at all, but using the device all day, especially for work and other tasks, I do have to say battery is going to take a major hit, and we'll talk about that in a second. The cameras are okay. They're not bad. They're not, terrible. They look great. Overall, I had no issues with the cameras, including the selfie camera. Very similar to the previous generation Flip, not leaps and bounds different there. But overall solid in terms of photography. You're not going to have problems with that. Pairing with the watch, like I said, is a little awkward, so I wasn't a fan of pairing it with the watch. For work and everything, I basically just left this thing kind of like a normal slab open on my desk and would unlock it to use it for Microsoft Outlook and Teams and other work applications. And that's where it got kind of frustrating again. I might as well use a regular slab device if that's the case, if I'm constantly leaving this open. So personally for me, again, having to constantly flip it open, it's just personally not for me. And then the battery life. So the battery has been absolutely terrible. I killed this thing in one day 4 times. Yes, 4 times had to charge it, and it charges really slow. Using the Pixel 5a, no comparison there. Obviously better battery life. The Z Fold 3 has excellent battery life for me as well. Much better overall, and you also get that front display that is much more usable. It also charges faster than the Z Flip. The Z Flip 3 charges at 10 watts wirelessly and 15 when plugged in, whereas the Fold charges faster for me. It's been a better experience overall for battery. And then the cameras, they've been about the same, not, no complaints there, but the overall display has been so much better to use. Obviously, you get like a full-size phone there right on the front of the device, so I can always use that display. I have no issues using it. It's not too small for my usage, and overall, I've actually been pretty impressed with the Z Fold 3 so far. I'll have to make another video on the Z Fold 3 here soon, but in terms of the build quality, everything, it's very similar to the Z Flip 3. So all the things that I like about the Z Flip 3, the displays, the actual build, the matte black finish, all the sides of the device, the hinge, the IP rating, all of that stuff I get here with the Z Fold 3. Plus I get wireless DeX, which you don't get on the Flip. Just overall in general, I'm much happier with the Z Fold 3 in comparison to the Z Flip 3. So I will be returning the Z Flip 3. Tech nowadays costs a lot of money. There's no justification for me to keep this. If you don't like your tech, feel free to return it. That's what these return policies are for. Again, this device just wasn't for me as much as I thought I wanted this device, as much as I thought this would be an awesome minimalist device. It's just not for me. So I'll be returning this. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Take care and stay safe.